All right, I'm on now. So,
All
um,
right.
all right. So and it does say two viewers, so that's good.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, Woody. Woody's here. Hey, Woody. All right. So again tonight, hello, Woody. Hello, everybody. Talk for a couple minutes. Just give some more people a chance to come in real quick. Um, I was going over the plan for tonight with you, RJ. We'll just go ahead and continue that here. So we're going to start off. We're going to take a quick peek at some basic information from Star Comics number 20 from Centaur Comics. Look over what they're doing, and then we'll head over to Comics Book Plus to read over some stories. That's what I was telling you about. So, all right, hey RJ, how's your week been?
Been long and tiring, man, but you know what? I'm got a whole weekend to do nothing, and that's exactly what I plan to do.
So you're not even going to do the open mic night on Sunday?
Oh, I might do that.
Yeah.
And I might have a noon interview with Nina Aberline. And I might have a local comic shop guys show tomorrow night. So, but other than that, I'm doing
Uh,
nothing.
yeah. Saturday is usually my big break day. So, um, usually where I pretty much do. I mean, I still will watch a lot of stuff, but anyways, yeah. So, who is Nina Aberline? You want to tell us a little bit about her?
Nina Daisy Aberline is a comics artist out of Italy, and she is she's doing her third issue of her book Sunrise Blossom, which is a GL book. And if you're into Japanese anime and manga, you know
Yeah.
that the GL
And
stands for
for those who don't know what GL stands for, it's Girls Love. It,
yes.
I
It's not
believe,
Green Lantern.
yeah, it's not Green Lantern, it's Girls Love, or in Japanese, it's referred to as Yuri.
Yes. So she's got a sort of anthropomorphic with human mixed world, and just an interesting character who's trying to find out more about herself and about her family.
Wow. Didn't you just have another pair of creators on, what was it, last night or the night before, who kind of had a very similar situation, but maybe not with anthropomorphic as much, more with, I don't know, horror, like vampires or something like that?
Possibly. I
Was
don't
it
recall the exact
Snell, I believe?
situation.
Jeff Snell?
Oh, that was last night. Yeah, that's nowhere near the same thing. That's just that was just flat out erotica.
Okay. Yeah, so. And it looks like Woody is sharing a link. All right, that's cool, Woody. Um, he's sharing the link to the Sunrise Blossom one.
That's the that's volume one. I think that might be the one that's might still be in demand. If it is, when she is a sale, I'm the one who takes care of it. So
Okay. All right. So yeah. So let's see. We're up to 4 minutes now. Yeah, and in the post show, there's going to be some other stuff that we were talking about just before the show. I probably want to talk to you a little bit more about afterwards, but I don't want to. I don't want to mention it too much here. It does have to do with what we were talking about right before I had to start up. So, anyways, let's see. We're coming up on 5 minutes. There's three of us in here. RJ, if you can help out with the extra view, that would be appreciated.
I,
um,
I'll watch it as many times as I can.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, I know I'm sounding like I'm begging here, but anyways, let's. So tonight, everybody, this what we're still in April of 1939. This time, we're going to be looking at comics that went on sale from Centaur Comics. Um, we're going to be focusing in on amazing. So we're going to some of the guys that we're going to looking at include Skyrocket Steel Dodge. The Air Sub DX, and that's not the wrestling group, mind you. Even though there's DX in there. Dean Denton and Dan Dennis of the FBI. So anyways, but first off, before we get to that stuff, RJ, I forgot to ask, were you going to be? Did you feel like doing voices tonight, or
I will. I'll do what I can.
All right.
Dig into my repertoire and see what other voices I can dig out.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, one other thing too. You remember how we were talking about Rick Astley the other night?
Oh yeah, never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down.
Yeah, ever since I've had the song not never gonna give you up, but Cry for Help around my head. But I've been singing that kind of off and on here and there for a while.
That people have always kind of sort of tried to rickroll people for a long time, in various and creative ways. But I've got to hand it, to the best rickroll of all time. And it was right here. And you can't see it because I shared a screen to you. The best rickroll of all time was when Bizarro rickrolled Clark Kent.
Oh,
and Clark clicks on the video and Bizarro rickrolls him. I think. I think.
Wow.
Yeah. Always come from take me down. Always come from stop me up. But it's he tried. Bizarro did his best in his best Bizarro way.
All right. So, anyways, and the funny, and I think I might have explained this to you before, but let's see, this the one. Yeah, I believe that was the one. Let's see. Yeah, cover date May of 1939. Or all right. The way that this is technically the 20th issue of Star Comics, but the way Centaur indexed comics at this point in time was a little screwy. So
they went into a second volume and just renumbered, huh?
Well, it wasn't just that. I mean, well, here, let me go back for a quick moment here. See where they started off here with volume 1, number 10?
Yep.
And they went up to 16 and then started volume 2. I mean, they also, well, actually no. Okay, this is amazing. I'm sorry, this is Star Comics, and Star Comics numbering continues from. I'm sorry, what I'm thinking of is actually Keen Detective Comics. I should have remembered that this was a continuation.
That'd be bad. Okay.
I don't know why that happened, but anyways. All right, data from Howard Kettner's Golden Age Comics Index, known photographs showing this comic, showing it on the newsstand, with other comic books with publication dates during April 1939. Now, the publication date, I think, is more or less the on sale date, the date it actually went on sale. So, and they got the cover art here from Fred Schwab. In fact, let me blow that up a little bit for everybody to see. I'm sure everybody would like to see that, zoom in on that a bit. Now, what do you think of the artwork there, RJ?
A bit comic stripish.
Well, you got to remember too, a lot of the stuff they were doing a lot of reprinting of the comics back then too.
It's no Alex Raymond.
Yeah. And you want to tell everybody who Alex Raymond was?
Nope, make them look it up. He was the guy who did Flash Gordon and a bunch of other stuff. He was the guy who died in a mysterious car crash, as documented in The Strange Death of Alex Raymond by Dave Sim and Carson Grubau, right here. Big, thick, hardcover book.
And by the way, I thank everybody for liking and sharing the stream. Hopefully, we can get some more people in here. And I hope you guys enjoy the content here. I know we're just kind of being a little slow here start, but we'll get into it soon enough. We'll get into the readings enough. Let's see. Snapshot. So by penciled and inked by Fred Schwab, 5 pages. Got Roundtable Adventure. Again, not a whole lot of information here, but just Topsy Turvy, Dib and Tucker, Jungletown Showboat, Speed Slivers. Again, just giving you an idea of what was out there. Diana Dean, and there are a number of these type of comic strips too. Where you'd follow like young starlets around. I know, like for example, Dixie Dugan and feature funnies, and she was originally a comic strip, and then her new strips would be reprinted in comic books like feature funnies, feature comics for quality, and before that, famous funnies. Phantom Rider, Davy Jones, not the Monkees, mind you. This is long before the Monkees. I think this Davy Jones may be in reference to the old like Davy Jones locker type of thing. Oh, get this. Homer Butts. That's an interesting name.
It was a different time.
Yeah. Don't know if Butts had the same meaning back then that it does now. And then
it did.
Block and Fall. So anyway, so just a quick peek at what's available there. So hey Rick's here.
Hey, Rick's here. Now it's a party.
Thank you for the like and share and the view. Yeah, RJ, you saw my comment on that one Facebook post, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure you'll probably agree with my sentiment there, right?
Yes.
All right. Anyways, now getting ready to move on to the readings. Let's get to that first. Let's see. This one. Now let me go ahead and copy this. And I'll put this in private chat so that if you want to, click over and, open up a screen to it as well, where you can get a better read on it, where you can follow along, RJ.
Absolutely.
I know you said before you usually try to read it off of this screen, but I figure it's good for you to have your own too, to where it's a little easier for you to follow along.
Oh yeah. But now this link took me to a main page.
Well, that's where we're on right now, main page.
Oh, okay.
And then you can just follow along as I'm Centaur. So first one we're gonna look at here is Amazing Mystery Funnies. Oh wait, no. Oh, oops. Wrong book. He put Amazing Adventure Funnies, but that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for this one. Amazing Mystery Funnies.
All right.
Number 10, 18. You see right there, 10, volume 2, 6.
Well, no, I don't, because I'm still on the first page. I didn't see where you clicked, but I'll find it. There we go. There's an Amazing Mystery Funnies link. Click that in. And what number are we going for? 10, volume 206.
Yeah.
June 1939. Yeah, now there's a cover.
Yeah.
In this issue, Air Sub DX. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's a flying submarine that can probably go underwater.
Yeah. And RJ, nice comment there, RJ. Let reading time begin. Yeah. All right, so let's see. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Actually, that's not
the right book.
Yeah, that's not the right book, I don't believe. I think this one was. Hold on, let me go check something real quick. Kind of goofed there. I don't know why I had. Sometimes it happens, but
This
figure it
this is
out.
primetime television here, folks.
And we're live, so we definitely do show when we make our mistakes. No, there's no edits here. You gotta see everything live and in color. Yeah, that's right. Number 9. I'm sorry, it was number 9, not number 10. That I should have been looking up there.
Okay, then I'll open number 9.
Yeah. But I did bring it to that. But yeah, because I noticed when it said 1 aside, I go, what? Oh wait, no, oops, I messed up. But are you now on the right one?
Yes, I am. They're all those evil guys are fighting all the other evil guys, and the evil queen is just watching on, standing in front of the head of the idol.
Yeah, no flying submarine for you, according to Woody, but
Nope.
that.
It's jungle mayhem on another planet with Bed Bath and Beyond curtains hanging from the sides.
Yeah, I'm thinking it might be some work from Skywood. So here we go, and then Uncle Joe says it's a letter from the editor. You can win $1 for helping Uncle Joe. I'm not going to read all that particularly.
But who's Uncle Joe?
Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe might be one of the editors or something like that of the book.
It's not Joe Orlando, is it? I'll have to watch for the name Joe to show up on the masthead somewhere.
Well, Uncle Joe, editor. So he was one of the editors for the book. Let me see if I
Oh, I'm on the first story already, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. Looking at the name of the writer.
Oh, you mean Bill Everett?
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Well, we talked about that before. That's the same Bill Everett who eventually wrote Amazing Man.
Yeah, and I think the later Amazing Man had a name in homage to him, but I can't remember for sure.
I think it was the same name, Bill Everett. Let's see if I can.
Yep, Bill Everett Sr. So that was kind of nice.
Actually, it was Will Everett, I think, was the second Amazing Man's name.
Yeah, William Everett, which, is Bill.
Cover credit here was the cover credit was Bill Everett. Yeah, I think all they got on these pages are the writer artist stuff. So, but I'm guessing Uncle Joe may have been like one of the editors or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just when you say Uncle Joe, it's like we're expected to all know who Uncle Joe is.
Well, maybe they did at the time. Remember, we're looking back at it from like 80 plus years in the future.
Yeah. So they might have known. Sort of like, if it's signed Smiling Stan, well, we know who Stan is.
Yeah. Anyways, so now let's go here. Let's get the. And I'll you want to guess you can do the narration, and then we'll figure out. I'll of course do the female characters as best I can.
You can have them.
And then we'll run with the rest of it as we go.
I would not be embarrassed doing any female characters, but if you want them, you can have them. So Skyrocket Steel, yeah, by Bill Everett. Bound for Venus, Paul Marston pilots a stolen Earthship. On the floor, unconscious, lies Skyrocket Steel Dodge, guarded by Sarge Marston, Paul's sister.
I think it's actually Sorry Martin. Sari.
Yep, I think you're right. That was a bad letterer. I could throw him under the bus. He's dead.
Hurry, Paul. Steele's coming too. We'll have to land before dark. Can't take any chances now. You want to do Paul?
Sure. It'll be dark by the time we get on the other side of Venus. I'll try to make the meteor planes and take the underground passage to Benghazi Spur.
Paul, the space detector isn't working. Say, what's that humming noise?
Good Lord, sorry. It's a pursuit ship. We'll have to land. There are two of them. So, oh, you're not gone. Yeah, I changed faster. There are two of them. Sorry. Quick, look at the indicator. Can we land?
How? Short circuit, Paul. I think my arm's dead and the indicator's ruined. But we're over Point Metro. We're over Point Metro.
Okay, I'll set the automatic control. Hey, look out for Steele. Okay, I'm making sure that there's no Steele talking. There's not. I'll take care of him. Take over, sorry. See if you can make the cave under the point. You'll have to hurry, sorry. I can't hold this demon much longer.
As you notice, it's a space adventure here. And as always, RJ, if anything in the story or whatever grabs your attention, feel free to comment on it or anything
I love retro future stuff.
Yeah. The landing gears jammed, Paul. We're going to crash. Crash! Paul, Steele, are you hurt?
No, we're all right, sorry. Get out your what? Get out your Mismus light and keep an eye on that first plane. It's Vance Roy's. Give me the light, sorry. I'll get Steele back into the secret tunnel. You take a couple of shots at those fellows. Wait a second. Why are they trying to help Steele into the cave when they just called him a demon and tried to hold him down? I think we're missing the first part of this story.
Well, I kind of know because I've read part of the story before. Sorry and Steele are kind of an item. They're kind of an item. I know because maybe you haven't seen every episode. You probably are missing some context there. But basically, there was a point. I don't remember all the details, but because obviously I myself haven't read every single story either. But I kind of know the general thing going on here. It's like they have him hostage. I think as part of a way to. I could probably just let me do this so kind of get you kind of cut up on it. Let me.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as it goes along. He'll come to in a second and have some dialogue, I'm sure.
Yeah. Maybe I should have. In all fairness, maybe when I was going through the stuff with Star Comics, maybe I should have gone through some of the other stuff too, just so you'd be caught up to speed on. Anyways. So okay, Paul. Only one ship landed. The other one's still flying around. Looks like an Earth ship. What do we do?
We'll take the passage through Vendex Valley. The sentry there can get us help. This is a new guy.
Oh.
The bad guy.
Oh, okay. Come on, Neo. They're disappeared. They've disappeared.
Hold them off, sorry, while I open the passage. This rock is heavy.
Say, what is this? What's going on? Oh,
All right, me fine bucko.
Neo. Neo Nun. You finish Steel and take care of Sorry. Neo, I'll get Paul. Oh no, you don't, Mr. Nun.
He looks happy to have been shot.
Maybe he's just very enamored with a lovely lady.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. May I have another?
Yeah. Here, Steel. Take this invisible chemical. Now that Neo's out of the way, we'll have to cope with Vance Roy and the rest of his men.
There's always a drug. There's always a drug. Just take this.
Yeah. This is the tunnel that leads to Vendex Valley. Paul and Roy must be down here somewhere. Bolt the door, Steel.
Vance attacks Paul. Fight.
There they are, Steel. Let's go. If we can reach the surface, we have a chance of getting clear. Don't you just like the word usage here with some of this?
Oh yeah, it's not the kind of grammar you'd probably employ in a life or death situation.
Mm-hmm.
In the ensuing scuffle, Roy is left unconscious, and Sorry and Steele lead Paul, bruised and bleeding, to the exit into the valley. They emerge to the din of an air defense battle and are met by a guard who takes them to a waiting plane. There's a lot of stuff going on here.
Uh-huh. Yep.
They take off under the protection of an accompanying Earth battle cruiser.
Paul, ask the guard to get us some ammonia. It'll make us visible again. Get it in spirit form. Ammonia in spirit form. That's a very interesting chemical, huh? There, RJ.
That's just smelling salts.
That's just smelling salt. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Look at that. Even I learned.
If somebody's passed out, you get a little ammonia and you go under their nose, and they're up. It shocks the system.
Well, Sorry, and Paul, I guess this exonerates you. We thought you were working for Vance Roy, but I see we were wrong.
And so we leave our three friends, bound on a perilous journey back to Earth. Watch for the next episode.
That was a quick 8 pages, wasn't it?
Yeah. But it explains why he was unconscious and why they were helping him but keeping him down. He was trying to arrest him, and they were trying to prove their innocence.
So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, well, it did say 6. Let's see, Dangerous Seas here.
Oh, and here's some more Fred Gardenier.
Yeah, Fred Gardenier, who of course is the artist on Zatara as well as Speed Saunders. I believe he did some work on there.
Yeah, which were other
companies.
Did
you know it was Fred Gardner based on the work, or that it did that actually say Fred Gardner?
Right there in the first panel, it says illustrated by Fred Gardenier.
Sandhog by Paul Gustafson. And just looking at. Dan Hastings. Where are we at on time here? We're just
8:30.
barely at the 30-minute mark.
Yeah.
Maybe we can. Because we went through that one pretty quick. I know one of the stories we're going to read in the other book is going to be 8 pages. So let's see. Wait, what am I doing? Okay. Uncle Joe's Joe. So here's Uncle Joe again. Let's see how his humor is here.
It's bad.
All right. I'll do Mother, and then you want to do Johnny there? That first one?
Sure.
Fast talking. Why do you do your homework so slowly, Johnny?
It's because teacher can't read very fast.
And Pop and Top. You want to do Pop? I'll do Top.
Sure. So this is a photograph of one of your quadruplets. Let me see the other 3.
I only carry around one picture because they all look alike anyway.
Ugh.
Streamlined job. Employer job seeker. Which one do you want to do there, RJ?
What was your last job?
I was a fashion advisor for a railroad.
What's that?
I advised them on their ties. Right. Not exactly sure how that one's supposed to go.
Well, their ties. The railroad ties. You know what railroad ties are, right?
No.
You've crossed a train crossing before?
Oh yeah.
Well, you know the rails are what the wheels sit on. But the wooden slats that go across, those are the railroad ties. That's what ties the rails down to the ground.
Okay. Now I get it.
City boys.
Well, I'll do Mandy, and you want to do Buster?
Sure.
So acrobatics. Why, Buster? How did you get hurt on the back of your neck?
Don't know. Must have bit myself, I guess.
Bit yourself? How could you do that?
Guess I was standing on a bench.
Okay. Watch it. Doppy and Sneezy. Which one do you want?
My watch fell out of the window and dropped on the sidewalk 2 floors below, and then ran for a week.
What scared it?
Ha, 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 ha. Wah, wah.
Oh, no, there's another page of them.
Oh, yeah? Oh, let's see. Two better than one. Let's see. All right. I guess we can just alternate what if you want.
Sure.
Let's see. This lion is the only friend I have in the world.
Why don't you get another lion?
There's something that wouldn't make a lot of people happy right there in the artwork. You see the little panel on the left there?
Oh, no, it would not. This is
proof. Unk and Dunk. You want to do Unk?
Sure. You know, old Mr. Snitch has false teeth.
How did you know that?
It all came out during our talk.
Back talk. Pietro and Sammy. You want to do Pietro? I'll do Sammy.
Sure. That's right. I've come from South Africa.
Well, why don't you talk like a Southerner then? And let's see. Shortcut. Willie and Nilly here. So, I'm trying to get you off of my mind.
It isn't much of a walk.
Okay. The back talk segment would probably not go over too well in today's world.
I can't imagine how any of these went over too well back then.
Nice. Oh, Woody was saying, nice ray gun. Boo.
Yeah, the jokes were definitely boo.
Yeah. Oh, they did seem kind of corny, didn't they? Fangs of a cougar. Air Sub DX, The Undersea World by Carl Burgos. And of course, I'll let you do the have you do the narration, because I know you like to do that. And everybody likes your narration voice. So,
oh well, thank you. I can look something up now because I'm old. I've got to remember what I'm trying to talk about. Carl Burgos, yes. Best known for creating the Human Torch for Marvel Comics. Which was their first character. So Marvel Comics number one,
and
Carl
the
Burgos
one and if I understand correctly, the one that he probably created was the Android one, right?
That is correct, yes.
All right.
So he was smart enough not to set a real man on fire.
Yeah. Okay. You want to get going here?
Sure. Tim is summoned to report to the Intelligence Department by order of Prince Batou, Chief of the Espionage.
Well, here I am, but I wonder why Prince Batou sent for me.
Captain Tim is waiting to see you, sir.
Let's see. Okay. Good. Show him in. Tim, this is Mr. Redden, better known as K4. He just escaped from the undersea world with most unusual news. That's why I sent for you. I'll restate the facts. As you know, our undersea colonies are in charge of Governor Morton. 2 months ago, we stopped receiving reports from him. Therefore, I sent K4 there to investigate. He found Clogger, who looks like Morton, in complete charge. This fake and his aides have discovered large deposits of coal, iron, and steel in the ocean's bottom. Wow, so think about that. Back in 1939, they believed that you could find coal, iron, and steel in the ocean's bottom.
I don't see why you couldn't. You'd have to dig, but
yeah, you don't hear too much about that though these days, huh?
No, we do get the oil though. So we get oil on land and off sea bottom. So it makes sense. The rest of the stuff could be down there. It's just a real pain to get to.
Yeah. And with such products are building a super war machine, which is a direct threat against us. You, Tim, must destroy this undersea inferno.
Yeah. Time out. They've got coal, iron, and steel. Okay, first of all, steel is something you make out of iron. You don't just find it. There's not a steel mine. And secondly, what can you build with coal and iron to build a war machine? Don't you generally they found like uranium, or they found like some super exotic element that will be defenseless against? But
Well, it just goes to show you what their level of scientific knowledge back then too, when they were writing these stories, right?
Yeah, they just kept it simple. Me,
Yeah.
I'm still looking at this guy and thinking, "You're Birdman's boss."
What was that?
I'm looking at the guy with the monocle and saying, "You're Birdman's boss. Why don't you get Birdman to do this?"
Oh yeah, I remember that. Anyway, I'm gonna step away from the computer for a moment to take my shirt because I think the glare is not going to be as effective here now, so I can take the shirts down behind me on my mirror there. So
Okay.
I'm gonna go off screen for just a moment. So if you want to do some promoting or talk about some stuff from what while I'm away, go for it.
Sure. I don't know what I'm going to promote. I've got nothing going right now, but because the devil you know better did complete. We are done with that. I mean, look at next week's calendar. What we got going on? It's a full week. We will be talking with Michael Nunnally on Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern from Omen Comics about his albino warrior comic. 8 p.m. Eastern Tuesday, we will be talking with Tights, the folks behind the Tights comic book, which is a fun one. I remember the first issue, so be interesting to catch back up with them. Wednesday the 17th at 8 p.m. we will have Julius Freeman, and on Thursday the 18th at that same slot, we will be talking with Mr. Gleason, Keith Gleason from the Mighty Mascots. So it's a full week. Don't have anything yet on Friday. We usually don't have anything on Friday, nor on Saturday. So we'll see. And we got a few things coming up in the weeks after that, but I'm not going to bother promoting them just yet, except that 2 weeks from tonight, I will be back here on the Mikestand. So we'll see. We'll see what's to be read then. Let's see, today is the 12th. Okay. Yep. Oh, cool. Just checking. What's on my calendar? It's on the agenda.
Yes, as RJ just mentioned, he'll be back here on the 26th, I believe, will be his next appearance here. Did you hear that, RJ?
I heard that. I just announced it.
Okay, yeah, I know you were announcing it. You just weren't sure what day it was, so I
said 2 weeks from today. I had my calendar right here in front of me, showing everybody.
Yep. And we'll talk more about that at the end of the show. Of course, on the 26th, we'll still be in April of 1939. We'll actually be looking at I believe we'll be looking at Fox feature publications. We'll be looking at Wonder Comics number 2. So which will include, of course, Patty O'Day, Spark Stevens. The last time, of course, we had Rick on when we covered it. That was, Wonder Comics number 1 was the whole Wonder Man thing, and how we discussed how that was the first litigation with DC Comics over the Superman copyright and all that.
Right.
So, anyways, getting back to the story here, as soon as I can click over to the thing here. Let's see. Oh yeah, and we got through all that. So, anyways, continuing on with the story here. Of course, I could dispatch a squadron of subs to blow up the place, but that would cause too much bloodshed. Oh boy, there's a bit of a spelling error right there, grammatical error right there. Too much bloodshed.
But that would cause too much bloodshed.
That's the wrong 2 right there. There should be another O right there.
Exactly. Sounds like he had 2 sentences in his head, like, that would cause too much bloodshed, or that would lead to much bloodshed, and he fixed one of the words and didn't fix the other.
Yeah. That is where you and the air sub come in.
And what about Morton? Is he still alive?
All right, I'll let you take over that, boy.
I forgot that you had started with him, but they put these 2 guys alternating against each other. It threw me.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll let you take over that one then, just to be fair, because otherwise I'd be like doing all the voices.
Well, this guy's got a monologue going on here.
Yeah. Um, Morton is another reason why I can't send the subs. He's being held in some dungeon. You've got to find him first. You see, it's a one man job, and the air sub the most effective weapon. But before you go, Tim, take a bit of advice. Strike before that devil Clogger suspects.
I'll do that, gents. Good. I'll do that. Good day, gents. Now, this would be a great way to get Tim to kill the governor by telling him that he's been replaced with a lookalike, an evil lookalike. Strike before he knows anything. Yes, I'll do that.
Could you imagine if somebody said that about like Joe Biden?
Yeah. It's just, he's been replaced with an evil duplicate. Strike before anyone says anything. Strike before he sees you. That would be like.
Okay, so this part's gonna be.
Oh, no colors.
Yeah.
Tim makes his way to Professor Gray's lab and relates the story.
I expected something like that when the prince called you in, so I ordered the DX ready for flight.
Good.
There she is, Tim, ready to take off.
The super rocket power. What? The super rocket power sends the DX swiftly into the heavens.
Well, you know what this feature is called, right?
Yeah, air sub.
Air sub DX. So you know it's going to be flying a little bit. It's going to be flying and submerging.
Oh yeah, I just the words didn't flow for me. There was like the super rocket power sends the DX. So there's a power in the rocket that sends it flying. Okay, I got that. It just took me a second to syntactically assemble that sentence.
All right.
We're almost there, Gray. Radio ahead for them to open the undersea locks while I prepare for a dive, and then turn on the sub power. So it's got two different engines, one that flies it and one that subs it. Okay. Propulsion changes when you get into a different environment.
Yeah. Again, don't you just like that when you look back on it from a historical standpoint?
Yes.
It is kind of funny to look back on that stuff. Right.
A switch is thrown into place, and the DX dives into the swirling waters below.
Yeah. I hope Woody's still here.
He's still here. He's cheering us on.
The locks are open, Tim. Now it's smooth sailing.
Powerful motors hum as the DX shoots ahead at top speed. They didn't spell check a damn thing in this.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they had spell check back in 1930.
No, but that's what the editors were supposed to do. They didn't rely on stuff like that. The editors were actually supposed to read the thing. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last lock, Gray. We're inside the undersea world where we're coming to attack, but they let us in. Oh, new evil guy.
Yeah. When the air sub lands, bring Tim and Gray to me. And remember, I'm supposed to be Morton. Now go.
Okay, so there's a guard approaches him.
And look at that, back to the red and white
yeah,
coloring there. So there's some pictures up top there, and now gentlemen, Governor Morton desires an audience with you. Follow me. There's a little narration at the bottom of that panel.
Okay. Oh yeah, inside the governor's mansion. I think that. Yeah.
Oh, look at that! Look at what they did to Excellency right there.
Yeah, the E got whited out in the scan. It looks like.
Yeah. Your Excellency, the Outlanders, Professor Gray and Tim. Very well, Zog. Very well, Zog. Wait outside. Gents, your visit is more than welcome, since our research labs could use men with your experience. Would you be interested in working for me?
Forget it, Clogger. Our mission is to find Morton, then blow this place to kingdom come. No, you're supposed to shoot him. You don't take the time to tell him why you're there. Oh my God.
That is classic, though. That is classic.
Yeah, these
You
next
saw
five
that-
panels should have
You
been.
saw
They should
that
have been like,
in, okay, you see that in a lot of the older comics and older cartoons. It's like usually it's the villain who does it. In this case, it's the hero who's doing it. It's like,
exactly.
yeah, we're
It should
telling
have
you
been-
exactly what we're doing right off the bat. I mean, that is classic.
This
Classic.
story was over in 2 more panels. He's like, "Do you want to work for me?" Pow. Okay, let's go find Morton. There he is. Let's go home.
What? So K4 made good his escape, but you won't. Zog! These men know all. Don't move, rat, or I'll splatter you to bits.
How do you like the high voltage, Zog?
Arg!
Tim whirls about and fires. And as for you, Clogger, pow. Get this straight. I mean business. Take me to Morton, else your fate will be the same as Zog's.
I have no alternative. And there you got some interesting. All right.
At that moment, a guard tears into the room.
Excellency, the Batman of Cordano are heading this way. What?
And they're bringing DC's lawyers with them.
Well, I don't think at this point it wasn't a problem because Batman wasn't created. Batman was just created at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get the joke though. Did you hear that? The Batman of Cordano. There's something you Outlanders never heard about. We call them the Flying Dead Men. Listen, Tim. So basically, that what the Batman of Cordano are kind of like what Man-Bat is.
Yeah, but aren't they underwater? Wasn't that why they took the submarine?
Well, probably like we've seen in a number of different comics and cartoons, when you have undersea societies, they're probably in some kind of domed environment or something like that.
Probably, since they are all walking around. And okay.
Yeah.
So
well, remember they said they had to be allowed to enter the city. Remember?
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway,
so I guess he flew, then dove, then came out and flew again.
Yep. You have a line there. On that
so what?
There are over 70,000 lives at stake. Help me and the land of this scourge. Help me rid the land of this scourge, and I guarantee to turn Morton safely over to you. Then you can do what you wish with me.
Don't trust him. It's a deal, Clogger. But if you're double-crossing me, I'll...
Let's hurry. We've got to warn the people. There's some narration down there. At the bottom.
Clogger broadcasts the news.
Attention! The Batmen are on the march. Every able-bodied person must report to the nearest barracks at once. That is all.
Meanwhile, the invaders move forward swiftly inside strange pillboxes. So they're not marching, they're flying in. Armed men fly out as the lids open.
Armies must be destroyed! Ark!
I want some Space Ghost music here.
Did you like my Batman voice there?
Oh yeah, perfect. The fierce battle moves on swiftly, terribly, as the men clash in a fight to the finish. Does anybody ever fight in something that they just know is supposed to keep going? Don't all the fights finish? Look, it's a Death Star.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, top right of the page. It's the Death Star.
Wow, they even had that back then, huh?
Cool. Okay.
It's fun to see how what people could think of back in this time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I bet George Lucas has this comic in his collection. We're outnumbered. Have your men cover me. I'm going to get to the air sub and get the hell out of here.
Right. I'll get the flame guns into action. Flame guns working underwater. Oh boy.
Yeah. Flame guns underwater here. As the Batmen advance, giant flame guns belch forth an impassable wall of fire. A bat must have got through the flames. Here, swine, how's that? That's one bat less. Ah, there she is. Good old DX. With Tim at the wheel, the air sub leaps into the air. Once over the enemy, Tim swoops down, making men and machines disappear with the dissolving gun.
A dissolving gun. That was an archetype of a weapon that appeared in a lot of comics back in this time.
Oh yeah, disintegrator rays.
Actually, in fact, I'm not sure. I think that might have been kind of the same gun that Sandman used early on too.
A disintegrator gun? That'd be cool. I thought he just put him to sleep all the time.
That may have been one of the guns he was working on for the government. That first story we read from him last week. And there's some interesting pictures there.
Yep. Suddenly, 3 enemy pill planes dart toward the DX. Looping and dodging the new menace, Tim shoots up. Heroin? No.
Pill planes.
Yeah, they are pill planes.
That's an interesting type of plane. A pill plane.
Yeah, well, they look like the pill boxes that were the Germans shot out of in World War I, which was what they called these tanks. They called them pill boxes because they looked like a woman's pill box, just bigger. So you can see that these ships that the Batmen are on look like the top of a tank turret.
Yeah.
Reaching a high altitude, Tim dives and brings down 2 planes while the third takes flight.
Look, it's a rout, thanks to Tim and the air sub.
Later,
here's the real Morton, safe and sound, as I promised. And now, let me say one thing. You said something about blowing up the place. It's not necessary with Morton back and the Batmen wiped out. This will be a most progressive colony. That's all, Tim. I'm ready for my punishment.
You're right, Clogger. With you out of the way, it will be a great colony. With Clogger in irons, the DX wings its way homeward. Next month, Ionian Patrol.
And you notice a term he used there that's still used today. Progressive.
Yeah, and be a most progressive colony.
But a lot of people would argue that. Okay, so I know Glenn Beck has argued that the idea of progressivism has been around since like the late 1800s. I mean, you even go back to late 1800s California with some of the railroad magnates there, like Leland and stuff, and then it was really hammered home during Woodrow Wilson's presidency.
Oh, yeah.
The progressive ideas. And then, of course, at this time with FDR, he was another person that they looked at as a major progressive of that time period. Let's see, where are we at now on time then? Let's see we're just after the 1 hour mark.
Yes, we are.
And according to StreamYard here, my signal is fairly good. Now it must be back to fully normal. So before I move on, of course, let's see what he said over the last few notes here. Let's see. He said, "Does this mean we're going to get a flying submarine after all?" I don't know. He couldn't tell you that.
No, we did. He said that right when we started the story. Because remember, I was like, that was the cover of the book that we didn't read.
Oh, yeah. Yay!
So we ended up getting one after all.
Yeah. Okay. You want to read that one, RJ?
Got him right in the crotch. Yes, he did. Happened a lot in the old comics.
Yeah, it's just very, again, and you may have saw me mention something last night on your stream when we were talking about it, when you were talking about the erotica stuff, and I mentioned Flash Comics 5 and 6.
Yeah.
The kidnapping of Ione Craig, which we will read to at some point. It's still going to be a while before we even get to that point, but that would be one of the ones that I'll probably will be reading under the file of this story was written for kids. Anyway, so let's continue on and see what else we have here. Let's see, Daredevil, very thin. Oh, look at the bright colors here on this one.
They are pretty bright. The big panels too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to make sure we get through like the story. That's why I'm just kind of, figured. Pulling Jewels by Clarice Mo. Clarice Mo was another one who is I don't know if it's a he or a she, but they had a number of interesting stories back here.
Oh, that was a she.
You just looked it up?
Yep. She made several stories with Patty O'Day for Wonder World Comics by Fox. Often signing her work Vic Todd.
Probably back in those days, you didn't hear a whole lot about women comic book artists or writers, just because it kind of reminds me of a Star Trek: The Next Generation, or not Next Generation, but Deep Space Nine episode. And then here's an ad for Keen Comics. This Keen Comics, and we talked about this before because it debuted the previous month there. Keen Comics only ran for 3 issues in 1939, but it was even though it's basically it was kind of set up as a monthly title. It was kind of sporadic. It's like you'd have the first book coming out in like March, on sale date March, cover date May, and then come back later like on sale date I think August or something like that. So that one was kind of more of a, and you can tell the scan there didn't look too good. Do you know?
Page was all ripped up on that book.
Yeah. All right, so now we'll get ready to go over to Keen. Oh, that's probably what I was thinking of, because I think that we're going to be looking at number 10 on Keen Detective Funnies. That's probably why I was thinking that. Again, going back to the idea of this was actually the one where the first issue there started out as Volume 1, Number 8. That's what I was. Remember what I was referring to earlier? How they had some screwy indexing there.
Yeah, I've got to find out how to navigate back. Is this still Centaur?
Yeah, still Centaur, and then where it says Keen Detective Funnies.
Okay. I'm there.
Okay, so
And
we're going
which-
to go down to number 10 here.
10
And
v
actually,
206. Yeah.
And actually, before I get started, if you want to entertain the people again for me for a couple minutes here, I got to step away from the computer for do a couple quick things. I'll be right back. All right.
Okay. All righty then. Well, this being a comic book show, I guess I can promote some comics. So let's promote some of the independent comics that have been sent to me for the purposes of promoting. We will start off with Electromagnetic Presses. I should have had the big screen, I think. Would have made this a little bit easier. Electromagnetic Presses, The Omens, a new teen book. There are 3 of these issues out so far. With fourth on the way. They're continuing to create those. I've gotten, I've got a lot of reading to catch up on, guys. So much reading. Bunch of Silverline titles here. Silverline's always good to check into. Got to get into this. Only Death Can Save Us. Everybody's heard of that. Silverline's Divinity, Twilight Grim, Sniper Rook. And it's not all Silverline. I mean, I've got some the Oswald Chronicles. Can't wait to get into that one. This is why I was looking forward to a day of nothing to do. So I could lay in bed and read comics all day. They're not all old ones either. I mean, if you remember, this is from Amazing Comics. This is the X-Mutants. Yes, it was an X-Men kind of spinoff. They were mutants before, and they were fixed. They were on a post-apocalyptic Earth where everybody was mutants. Dr. What's his name? I can't remember. Gave them all treatments and injections and turned them into humans, and beautiful ones at that. Beautiful humans. So they're former mutants. They're ex-mutants. See, now you might think that, well, if he really wanted to play the joke out, he'd go ahead and do the spinoff and have it do it to another team of people and call them the New Humans, which he did and which he called them. So the X-Mutants and the New Humans were 2 books from Amazing Comics back in the late 80s. What else have I got? I have got from Bad Bug, Raina, the Bastard Queen. This has got to get a read and a review. You saw the Bad Bug team on my channel last night. I get everything they put out. I enjoy everything they put out. So there's that. This is a thick old book here. This is a graphic novel with a thick stiffy cover. This is Trolls Exposed. This comes from Hero Shack, our buddy Chris Tomilovich over there. Got some cards. What are these cards? Well, these cards go in shipments later. So they must have slid in between these other comics while I was packing stuff up, because underneath the cards, we have the Kara Nicole Fire Biatch. This is number 35 of a set of 35. You can see I got the last one there. This was especially done for a convention. So it's mine. And of course, Mike Barron's Thin Blue Line is here in my read pile. Yeah, Rick, you do have a story in the Trolls Exposed book, so I'm, be looking forward to reading your stuff. I'm also looking forward to getting into this one. I have not had the opportunity yet to get into Jack the Ripper, Vampire Hunter. I almost said Killer. I had to double check the title. And Rabbit's Badass Song. They're going to be joining us again when Rabbit's number 3 comes out here in a few weeks. So I got good comics to read. I just got to get to them now. Yeah, that's my stack of old comics. What? Oh, wait, there's more. But wait, that's not all you get. Because these just came in put the little prints aside here. We have Miskatonic High, number 15, the latest from that crew, and another great big old thick and THICC book, Cthulhu Invades Wonderland. So if you're an Alice in Wonderland fan and a Cthulhu fan, this is your book. You want this. I wanted it. I bought it. I'm going to read it. And now we're going to read this.
Yep. Hey, Rick, welcome back. Thanks for popping back in. I hope you'll enjoy our readings thus far here. We're already past the hour mark, so let's see. Woody said jiggle. Jiggle. And
Juggle.
Juggle.
He wants me to entertain.
X-Mutants, interesting. I have a story in that, and then I guess it's all relating to what Trolls Exposed, that is. So I guess you were talking about Trolls Exposed. And speaking of Chris and Diane, of course, they'll be on here next week. We'll be going over, some Fiction House publications. So, RJ, we're going to be actually looking at we're going to be reading one of your favorite characters, Sheena, next week.
Captain Napkin Face?
No, Captain Napkin Face that'll be on the second. Rick and I will be doing that on the second. That'll be the next time we do quality. But anyways, all right. So let's get into this story then. So we got Keen Detective. Now, keen was a word that was more commonly used back in 1939 than it was now. Keen usually means like smart or witty.
Yeah, neato.
Yeah. In this issue, 16 more pages. So look at all this. So and then this is Dean Denton, the Pyramid of Death, which is going to be the I guess Harry Francis Campbell. That's going to be like the first. Oh, look at the girl look at the girl in the lower right corner there.
You knew what sold.
Huh?
They knew what sold comics.
Yeah. Seeing damsels in distress.
They were just basically copying what was going on in the pulps there. Joe Hardy, that was the name of the publisher at Centaur Comics, and they were published in St. Louis.
Huh.
My hometown.
So you looked it up then, RJ?
Well, I saw St. Louis at the bottom of the inside masthead here, and I saw more Uncle Joe, still telling me nothing. I'm like, I want to know who Uncle Joe is. So I looked it up.
Centaur, they went until about they actually shut down by 1942. They started out as Comics Magazine Incorporated in 1936. They were around for like 6 years, and as you notice here, they were actually at this point in time with publishing 7 monthly titles. They were the prominent company at the time, if you think about it, in terms of, because if you look at how many titles they had the most at the time with 7, with DC close behind them with 6. So, anyways, here's Dean Denton, Scientific Adventurer. This is narration. So, you want to do the narration again, RJ?
I can do this. So, and Harry Francis Campbell. Don't know that name, but Scientific Adventure reminds me of Doc Savage, who was also, everybody's reading Doc Savage right around this time.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, okay, so he's not just a scientific adventurer. He's Dean, America's most famous ventriloquist, has retired from stage, screen, and radio. He spends all his time helping others out of their difficulties by means of science. Returning to Hollywood after solving a case, he finds that his assistant, Carol Kane, has left Hollywood by plane for Central America. Carol, bitten by the movie bug, has been given a part in Colossal Studios' newest film and has gone on location. Dean is calling on the head of Colossal Studios, his friend Al Stern.
Now, but there's an interesting older term there that was in there that you don't hear as much about today. Would you, RJ, would you like to explain to everybody what movie bug is?
Oh, that's just in any industry that you feel like you want to do and you're driven to do. You've been bitten by that bug.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's basically what it meant back then.
But you act a little more fanatical about it than somebody who's just doing it normally. So somebody who's been bitten by the movie bug will do anything, go anywhere, make risks, just to get a chance to do the thing that they've been bitten by.
Okay. And in this case, I'm gonna hand the main character Dean Denton over to you. I'm gonna let if you want it.
I'll take it.
Dean Denton here, I think, is the guy in the hat there, and then I know I normally take a lot of the main characters, so I'll give you one here.
What the devil, Al? Why did you send Carol down there? I need her here.
Now, don't get excited, Dean. Look, I'll get her playing for you. I'll get her playing for you now on the radio. All right. NCXTR calling Al Stern, Colossal Studios. Our plane is being attacked by 3 pursuit planes armed with machine guns. We are near an island in the Gulf of Mexico. No time to take bearings. Our right motor is dead. Oi, such a business. Oi, such a business.
Hey, it's not racist to assume that a movie studio mogul is Jewish, is it? No.
Oh boy.
And just as Al Stern tunes in,
the funny thing there is that a lot of these SJWs I don't think they'd be up in arms about that as being racist.
No, but it was a stereotype, largely because all the studios back then were run by Jewish people.
Well, I know that one of the stereotypes that was often like you had a lot of people who were quote unquote good businessmen or good business people or lawyers or whatever, that they'd all be supposedly Jewish. That was the thing. Anyways, you got some stuff here, RJ.
Yep. Dean hastily radios instructions. They just went down. They can't take your instructions. Calling NCX2R. Plane NCX2R. Keep sending as long as you can. Keep on the air. Dean Denton calling NCX2R. Keep on the air. Let them talk back, Dean. Then calls another radio station. Hello, KYZ. Dean Denton phoning from Hollywood. Tune in on NCX2R at once. 15.6 meters. What? Get a directional bearing and hurry. Call me back as soon as you get it. 15.6 meters. That's like 30 feet or something. What's he talking about? Tune in on them.
I have no idea.
I mean, if he'd have said 15.6 megahertz, then he could say, well, that's their frequency. But they're not 30 feet away from you. They're in South America.
Hold on.
Sounds scientific, though, and he's a scientific guy. So,
all right. Both motors are now dead. We are going to try a landing on an island just ahead. Maybe we...
Here's hoping that station got the bearings. There's the phone now. Dean next plots the radio bearings. I'll call the studio field and tell them to wheel out that attack ship.
Hold on, before we go on there, look at how he's doing that. I guess
with
a ruler or something like that.
Yeah, with a yardstick. Now,
you don't see that today, though, do you?
No.
because
Well,
with
he's
computers
nowhere
and
near
all that.
South America yet.
All right,
So I
now
guess their plane's getting shot down over Texas.
yeah.
Uh, Al, call the
Anyway,
studio.
continue on now.
Was that?
Continue on now. Sorry.
Okay. A pursuit ship from the air epic War Eagles is hastily pressed into action. So they're taking they had a real plane for one of their movies, not a prop plane, and they're going to use that. Okay. Al, call the studio field and tell them to wheel out that attack ship. I'm on my way.
Positively, Dean, right away.
Dean takes off 30 minutes later.
There he goes. Yep, but why did he take ammunition in those guns? Let's see. Yeah, there's an island there. Oh wait. Do the narration first.
Dean gasses up at Brownsville, Texas. They did get shot down over Texas. Okay.
Yeah, there's an island there about 70 miles offshore. Ain't nothing on it but a bunch of old Indian ruins. They call it Salon Kai. Ship's gas, partner.
And soon is out over the Mexican Gulf. This position is just about where Carol's plane was last heard from. As the swift little plane eats up the miles, Dean sees a strange island ahead, near the spot where the studio's plane vanished. There it is. Dean flies over Sullen Cay, where he sees a host of natives gathered around the ruins of an old Aztec pyramid temple. Great guns! That's an Aztec temple. Yeah, you read the narration too, didn't you? If those devils are reviving their old sacrificial rites, Lord help Carol. Screw the pilots. Aztecs and airplanes. I don't get it.
Aztec and airplanes? That was... Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what he said. 3 planes swoop down on Dean, not knowing he is armed and ready to fight. So, they want to play, huh? Dean loops and dives, his guns blazing. As Dean's superior flying and marksmanship down the 3 attacking planes, he makes an astounding discovery. Jeepers creepers! There's a red skull painted on those planes. The Conqueror is behind this. Maybe the red skull's behind it.
And if this was like 5-7 years later, there'd be some crying about when you say there'd be some crying about copyright of another character that we'd come to know a little later. This was 5 or 7 years after this.
Yeah, Centaur should have held on for dear life. They had Batman first. They had Red Skulls. They could have owned all this stuff. Dean sights the missing movie planes on Solon Cay and decides to land. He allows himself to be captured in hope of being taken to Carol.
Stick them up. Pile out of that crate and make it snappy.
The movie crew are also prisoners. So here you are, boys. But where's Carol?
Denton. These mugs took her away.
Dean's ventriloquism fools the guards.
Help! Quick! Outside!
What's that?
He slips his bonds. Of course he does. Overpowers his captors.
Isn't that the case with all heroes, though?
Yeah, they always slip their bonds. No bad guy knows how to tie a knot. And releases his fellow prisoners, who were completely incapable of slipping their bonds. Okay, boys. Now where's Carol and the rest of the cast?
Thanks, Denton. over at the big temple.
Give me the whole layout.
Let's see. Some nut called the Conqueror has sold these Indians on the idea that he's their ancient god, Quetzalcoatl.
Quetzalcoatl. Yeah.
Quetzalcoatl. Come back to Earth. Of course, it's just a play for the gold that old-time Aztecs buried. There's going to be a big shindig. Up at the temple tonight, and these buzzards are planning to sacrifice Carol to this snake god.
That's what they think. I've outfoxed this conqueror guy before.
So apparently he's dealt with this guy before, I guess.
That's how he recognized those red skulls. The sacrifices will be made after dark. I've a scheme which ought to work. A huge palm tree growing near the temple furnishes Dean with an inspiration. Are your projectors and batteries okay? Is there a spool of finished film in the planes?
Sure. We can get them here in short order.
You fellows tie up those guards I knocked out, and then come and help me unload the stuff.
Okay, then.
The cameramen quickly unload and set up their equipment by the big palm tree. I don't like mid-sentence carryover to the next frame. That's hard. Everything's set now. You men know what to do when it gets dark. I know what he's going to do.
Sure.
By dusk, their plans are all finished. I'm going to take off now. When I drop my flare, that's the signal to shoot the works.
Good luck, Dean. We're all set.
The crowd of Aztecs awaits the sacrifice as the moon begins to rise.
Hail the mighty Coatl.
It's worse than Mix's Pidlick.
Yeah.
But at least they did get a real Aztec god. At least they did get an ancient Aztec god.
It's a good thing I took it because I'm more used to trying to like pick words apart like that and sound them out. So
yep. Dean climbs to 4,000 feet, cuts his motor, and spirals down silently. A flare gives the signal to the movie crew. Oh wait, no. I see. They do a U-turn.
Yeah.
He bails out over the Pyramid of Death, his plane crashing into the Gulf. Here's hoping this chute opens. And a flare gives a signal to the movie crew. In the meanwhile, below, Carol is being dragged to the awful altar of sacrifice at the top of the pyramid.
Look at that. She's in yellow, blonde hair.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yeah, what's your question?
Why is that Aztec Nordic?
I have no idea. Maybe that's what the author thought he should have looked like.
Or maybe that's the Conqueror.
Maybe that's probably the Conqueror. Anyways,
okay. He's got a red hair beard.
RJ, I need to step away from the computer for a quick moment here because things are getting kind of dim in here. So I need to step away to make some lighting adjustments. I'll be right back.
Good.
So if you want to entertain people or talk more about some stuff coming up or promote anything or whatever, I'll be right back.
All right. Okay, gentlemen, I've got a stack of Playboys over here. We're just going to read through them on Mike's channel because it's not mine, so I don't care if it gets struck. No, kidding, Mike. I'm not going to do that. I have nothing here. I've got rocks. I mean, I live on a mountain, so I have rocks all over the place. And I picked this one up because when I picked it up, it was like, it's got this bowl in it. And I'm like, I have no idea what that is. So I'm going to polish that up and take a look at it. It does rather neatly fit this one that's almost a geode of some kind. It's almost a pie slice. It's got quartz in it. But I can set it right there, and it holds it real nice and neat, like it was just made for it. I did not find these together. I did not even find them in the same area of the mountain. So it's just coincidence that it sits there. Yes, me and my rocks. A lot of fossils out there. I'm going to have to be a little bit more careful though, because last week I was pulling up in the driveway and the cat was bouncing around in the driveway. We have a very steep driveway going up to where the house is, and I stopped and I looked at Lily and I was like, "What are you doing?" And there's an earthworm that she's batting around there. Except it wasn't an earthworm, because earthworms don't raise their little heads up and try to, strike like this. She had found a baby water moccasin and was going to town with that. So now I'm like, I'm just digging into piles of rocks with my bare hands and pulling them out. Maybe I should just, poke a stick in there first and see if something wants to strike first. Last thing I need is to get a rattlesnake latched onto my arm while I'm sitting here trying to haul out some ugly looking big old rock that I think is worth looking at. I mean, this one's so dirty, I haven't hosed it off yet, but it's full of little pink quartz blocks all around it that'll look a lot better once I've, soaked it and hosed it down. Gosh. Oh, he's back.
All right. Well, thank you for holding the fort down for me there, RJ.
Not a problem. We got through.
I just needed a few moments to kind of brighten everything up a little bit in here. It's kind of tricky in the summertime like this. I'm here, even though I'm here in Southern California. So starting at going 6 to 8 usually. It's like at the very beginning, I got to deal with the huge glare. That's why I got to put towels up over my curtains and a couple shirts over the mirror to try to level out the glare.
I've got as much light as I'm going to get.
Huh? What was that?
I've got as much light as I'm going to get.
Yeah. And then as the sun goes down, you have to make lighting adjustments because, you're losing the sun to darkness, obviously. So it's a little tricky at times. Can be a bit of a hassle. But anyway, so we last left off where we saw the beautiful blonde woman there about to be sacrificed, and you were asking why there was a Nordic, who was part of the Aztec tribe. That probably, as you theorize, it may have been the conqueror that they were talking about.
Yep. So
let's get ready to move on to the next.
He's jumped out, and suddenly strange shapes appear in the swirling smoke from the sacred temple fires.
An omen, magic, witchcraft. And you notice these Aztecs are speaking English.
Of course, yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is an English. Yeah.
Yeah. And Dean drops through the smoke.
Dean. Dean.
She's awake. Free this girl. Let this ceremony cease. I, the messenger of great Quetzalcoatl, command you. Seize this man. He is a false god and seeks to steal your treasures.
It's a lie. I am Quetzalcoatl.
Let the spirits of the smoke decide. Felix the cat is going to decide your fate.
Felix the cat, the wonderful, wonderful cat. I remember those cartoons.
Again, using his powers as a ventriloquist, Dean makes one of the strange figures speak from the smoke.
The bearded one is false, even unto his whiskers. He was a man of evil and desecrates your altar.
Stop him!
I thought so. Oh, wait. One quick yank unmasks the false god. I thought so. Bolton Gates, alias the Conqueror, trying to gyp these poor Indians, eh?
You do much for me, Tekken Chief of Aztecs. Let me give gold of Montezuma to false god. You stay with Tekken make magic for him.
No, Tekken. My friends and I must go back to California. But we'll leave Gates here. You keep him prisoner for us.
Oh, okay. Tekken, no, let him go.
Homeward bound and Carol safe.
You got there. You got there just in time, just in the nick of time. How did you ever do it?
The camera crew planted a projector in that big palm tree and threw movies onto the smoke from those altar fires. Then I bailed out in my chute, and the rest was easy. I can just see Stern's face when he hears that his $70,000 crate is at the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico. And just one thing else, young lady. No more movie parts for you. Oh, come on. But Ricky, I want to be in the show. I wonder if those Indians can manage to hang on to Gates. He's slippery.
The end. So that science adventure. Well, what did you think of that science adventure there, RJ?
Well, let's see. They're projecting movies onto smoke, which I don't think would work. I mean, maybe. I thought they were going to project them onto the side of the pyramid where I'm like, okay, solid surface. But no, they're going to bounce it off the smoke.
Apparently, though, this guy, Harry Francis Campbell, somehow made it work.
Well, he also, came up with gave meters as a measurement for frequencies. So I'm not so keen on Harry's science.
Yeah, but we have to remember too. This is scientific sci-fi of 1939. Obviously,
yeah, and
we
and the only science the guy's got is he's a ventriloquist
in the last 80 plus years or so, right?
And yeah, the only thing he's got going for him is he's a ventriloquist, and he doesn't want his girlfriend in the movies.
Yeah, or maybe he just doesn't want her in unsafe situations.
Well, he said, "No more movie parts for you, young lady." Like, like, who are you going to tell her what to do? You ain't married. Put a ring on it, dude.
Yeah, but basically, he got in the foresight, Sergeant McLean, Spy Hunters. So we'll look at this real quick before we move on to Dan Dennis. And since we were going to do Dan Dennis, that's why I didn't do this one because, I figured they were the same type. Spy Hunters, I figured it was going to be very similar type of story.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's nice. Very nicely drawn. Black and white. This is... What
are you talking about? I'm still going through the Spy Hunters one.
Oh, I've moved on to Dan Dennis.
Okay. There we go. Dan Dennis by Gilman. I believe his full name was Sam Gilman. FBI. Dan Dennis, FBI. Alrighty then. So, you want to get us started there?
Sure thing. Washington, center of the nation's crime-fighting machine, whose operators, popularly known as G-Men, are constantly reminding the underworld that crime does not pay. Beyond this door are laid the plans for answering the underworld's challenge to law and order.
Okay.
Why don't you take Dennis, because he's the lead on this one, and I'll just take his boss.
All right.
Will you send Inspector Dennis in immediately, please? Dennis, I'm sending you to New York to break up one of the toughest and most dangerous dope rings.
Now, for everybody out there, RJ, what's a dope ring?
That was marijuana.
Right. That was they were basically they were illegally dealing with marijuana back then.
You'll get your instructions from our New York agent. You leave tomorrow.
You can depend on me, Chief.
Okay, Dennis. Good luck.
Huh? Gulp? Where's the fire? Where are we going? Come on, Tick. Come on, Tick. We've got to get packed in a jiffy. Got to make the 7:40 in the morning. You want to do Tick as well?
Sure, I'll do that.
All right. New York and plenty of action.
Oh boy, sounds swell. Early morning flight. Well, Dan, where do we go from here?
Over to the hotel for a bite, and then a nice long walk through the city.
Hey, Dan, wait up, will ya?
What's up, Tick?
Wonder what the crowd's all about.
Let's go see.
Did
All right,
Dan change hats?
it's me. Oh, it's just one of those fortune tellers. He writes your initials on blank sheets of paper, rolls them up, inserts in a hollow tube, says a few magic words, and presto, out comes your fortune all written. Abracadabra, asida, shibok, ala na mingohi.
I'll let you keep reading this. The fatwa can come to you.
Huh?
I said, I'll let you keep reading this. The fatwa will come to you that way.
The what would keep coming to me?
The fatwa. You know what a fatwa is? They issued a fatwa on Salman Rushdie and somebody stabbed him today.
Oh. Okay. Allah has spoken. The future which is yours is revealed in the sacred handwriting. Heed these words well. In them lies your very destiny. And now our first fortune goes to CA. Tick, there's something funny here. If you look hard, you will see beneath that fake mustache and beard the face of Chop Cadero. But you think somebody might take offense to my my impression of this guy?
Well, the guy was invoking Allah. So.
And now the future is revealed to QZV.
That's me. Thanks.
Yup, that's Chop Cadero. All right, but smuggling is his racket, not fortune telling.
I don't know, Dan. I didn't like the looks of that last guy who got his future told. He didn't look like the type who believes in fortunes.
Huh? Hey, what were the initials that guy handed in? DYA, remember? I'm sorry. Do you remember?
Let me see. Oh, yes. QZV.
QZV, huh?
QZV. What is the meaning of these strange initials? What is Chop Cadero, notorious underworld character, doing in the strange role of fortune teller?
I guess we'll find out soon enough, right?
Yes. The next day, Dan decides to visit the fortune teller and use the initials QZV, hoping that the fortune he receives will give him a clue to the operations of the dope ring.
And now Allah reveals the future to the person with the initials QZV. QZV, that's me. Thank you.
The letter says QZV, something destined to be a success in your work. All you're devoted to the things you meet tonight at the old shack at Pier 17 at 11:30 p.m. Oh, there's a message in the middle. Not even very well hidden.
Tick, I've located the smuggler's hideout. Get all the information. Got all the information in this fortune.
Huh? Gosh, that means we see plenty of action tonight. What time do we start?
Sorry, Tick, but the success of my plan depends on my making them think that I'm a member of their gang. So I've got to go alone.
Greatly disappointed in not being able to go with Dan, Tick decides, however, that he must take some action. Fearing for his partner's safety, he phones the police. And meet me at Pier 17 with a squad of men, 11:30 tonight. 11:30, Dan Dennis arrives at Pier 17. When asked for his identification, Dan thinks desperately, then suddenly answers.
QZV.
Dennis is admitted into the gang's headquarters.
You want to do that, guy?
Oh, sure. What's the password?
QZV.
That ain't no password. Copper. A nosy cop, boss, snooping around.
Yes, I remember him. QZV. Very amusing. He. Yes, very amusing. And now let me offer you a little entertainment. Ahmed!
Out of the shadows, a menacing form emerges. Achmet, a huge giant, ready to obey his master's every wish, as he advances slowly to tear Dan to bits.
Look at that action there.
Taking advantage of the fallen table as the crooks open fire, Dan finds his first target. Speeding on to Dan's rescue, Tick turns onto Pier 17 and heads for the old shack. Will Tick reach Dan in time? Is that Tick? That is Tick. Drop those guns and reach for the ceiling.
They got us covered, boss. Well, I guess we can reveal Chapcadero's future now without the aid of Allah.
Yeah, at least for the next 20 years.
Right? Let's see what else. Crane of Scotland Yard, and the rest of these are more reprints from earlier issues. Let's take a quick peek at them. Let's see where are we at on time here?
About 12
hour
minutes.
48. So actually we made some good time there. We got through some good stories there. We're just kind of look at that lady right there. She looks pretty.
Yeah, that was the height of appeal that they could get away with in comics, unless you were a jungle lady. Then you could, wear tiger skins.
Mm-hmm. And this is another one where it seems like they went back and forth between red and white, and here's Dan Dix right here, ship's detective. This is one I was thinking of reading, but I know that we're probably we're getting close to the 2-hour mark, so.
Oh yeah.
So I'll just kind of.
That's
and
another
again, there's another reprint anyway from an earlier issue.
Yeah, they really skimp on the color. It seems like it's something like they'll go from black and white to full color to red.
Because I one of the things I did read a while back about this, there was a point in time when they actually did start doing this with some comics where they would, for whatever reason, they would only use a red and white palette for some reason. I think this was a bit of a common this is kind of the transition of going from like black and white to color. Here's Shark by Norman Daniels, illustrated by Fred Guarnier.
Yep.
Our friend, he does Zatara and Speed Saunders, and a few others. More color here. Oh, look at that color. That looks like some good coloring right there.
Yeah, it does.
Nice, nice and bright there.
It's so weird that they would go back and forth inside the same story.
Yeah. And here's Captain Steve Ransom in a complete air adventure. And you notice, and there were a lot of like air adventures too. You had a lot of pilot type, like
Yeah, well, you know, keep in
Harrigan.
mind, planes were still new.
Which is in part why I read, you know, the Hop Harrigan story last week with the other murder story, detective story writers should live their plots, and here is a plot that comes to life by Lloyd Victor. This is a text story. Of course, we don't do text stories; those would take too long to read.
Oh yeah,
Boomerang looks like a western, but you know what's kind of cool about these comics too, with you know. Whereas today you have a lot of comic books that are being written as like, you know, just one story and the whole book takes up a story. But back here you had these anthologies and it was kind of great. You kind of got a little mix of everything in there, you know.
Yeah, and they could tell a big story
in like 6 to 8 pages. You didn't need the whole book to do it. You know, you'd have a Western story and you could have like a government, like a G-man story, you know, first, and then a superhero, and then a Western, and you know, just a complete story.
Yeah.
Mess them up.
And like I said, they could tell a big story in 4 pages.
Look at this one, Archie.
Muss him up. Will Eisner. Hey, he used his real name.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you'll want to talk about the artwork here because I know you're a big fan of his artwork.
Yeah, the cross hatching on this is fantastic.
And it's in black and white, of course.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is good stuff. And he had such distinct facial caricatures for all those different characters.
Yeah. I mean, you can kind of tell it. You look at the faces there. Yeah, it does look kind of like those are some solid looking faces right there.
As the story goes on, it starts to look more and more like a spirit story. I mean, you got panels here now that are crooked, and the artwork goes crooked with the panels, like it's a photograph laying on top of the page. Normally, you know, all the shots were straight on established. Even if they did, you know, an odd looking panel, they always kept the art straight on.
Kind of like what we saw in the earlier stories that we were reading, how, you know, they kind of go back and forth and stuff like that.
Yep.
The end.
Get the hot seat warmed up. That was, of course, the electric chair.
Yeah. Lucky coin. Slight error. And of course, Gabby Flynn. It's going a little faster so we can let's see. Detection notes. Specialization in police and detective divisions is speeding up crime fighting. Oh, this is one of their another profile piece. This isn't per se specific comic story, but and again, as I've mentioned before too, a lot of comics back in these days were more akin to like what we know of in highlights now, the magazine for kids. How they'd have all the, and of course, this is the ad page. The common ad page. Oh, go ahead.
This profile thing, the bottom left. This one element here is hilarious.
Going back. Okay, I'll go back to the bottom.
Yeah, the bottom left says like New revolver has camera attachment for sleuths. One trigger snaps the picture of the fleeing criminal. The other trigger fires bullets. Both triggers may be used at the same time. So, yes, I shot him. Here's proof.
Oh, that sounds like a very useful type of gun. Yeah.
Every gun should have a built-in camera. Did you shoot him?
Wouldn't that be something? Yeah, you actually get to take a picture while you're shooting a guy.
You want to remember it.
Oh man, considering with like the body cam stuff going on today and all that.
Oh, just imagine every smart gun now, because they've got smart guns. Every smart gun comes with a lens attached to the top of it. Every time you fire it, it snaps a picture and wirelessly puts it up to the cloud for the FBI. Yes, this gun was fired, and it was fired looking at this. So they'll know who got shot the moment they get shot. I should give them ideas.
No kidding. That does sound kind of funny. I can find my cursor here. There we go. And then fun for everybody with special fireworks. Spencer's new Young American assortment. Spencer Fireworks Company. And that's the last page right there. So RJ, what did you think of the stories tonight?
Oh, I enjoyed the stories. Even the parts where we make fun of them. It was interesting to see what the writers would think was scientific, and what was a story element, because they just had to get the thing moving. They just had to get the story going. They didn't have to be correct with everything.
Yeah, but it's good to see their perspective on things, right?
Oh yeah,
it was just good. You know, wouldn't that be something if you could go back and talk to some of these writers, you could go back and talk to like Will Eisner, you could go back and talk to Fred Guarnier, if you could go back and talk to Harry Francis Campbell, or George Borges or whoever, and just sit there and just chew the fat, like we chew the fat with some of the guys of today, like Mike Darren or Ethan Van Sciver or Glenn Fleming. I remember you had Glenn Fleming on a couple months back, and he talked about, of course, his interview with or the time he spent with Jack Kirby. Those kind of experiences. Do you imagine having those kind of experiences with some of these guys who are from this time period? You go back to Will Eisner, Barry Siegel, Joe Shuster, Bob.
Oh
Kennedy.
Yeah. Some of them would be amazed at what became of their industry.
Huh? What was that?
Some of them would be amazed at what became of their industry.
How do you think they might react to how their industry progressed over time? What just based on what you do know about them? I
think they'd be really impressed with a lot of the art and the printing techniques, and the digital art would amaze them, because they would talk about how hard it was for them to do pages. They had to work with the tools that they had at hand, which were primitive. Offset printing
compared to today, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then the printing is like print on demand. You can just if you want one, you just print one, and then of course they'd find out that there were books where people just wanted one, and they're like, we sold millions of these things.
Yeah. Well, and again, one of the things that, as I commented earlier, that I liked about this time period too, is that you had these great anthologies going on here. You had all these different characters that you could really get into, and you really did have more. Granted, maybe they weren't necessarily doing world building back then, like maybe today or whatever, but you'd still tell there were elements there that you could, theoretically, you could build a world out of what they published and what they produced. Theoretically, even if that wasn't necessarily their intent at the time. All right, so we're past the 2-hour mark. I hope everybody had a good time tonight. I'm going to start winding down here. RJ, if you can stick around, after the show for some post-show wrap-up.
Yeah, I can do that.
Minutes. Anyways, so with that being said, we're going to start winding things down a bit here. So since we are at the end of the show, it's time. It's that time again that everybody, one of everybody's favorite times. This day in
Niche history.
Right. Today being Friday, August the 12th, 2022. Let's take a look back at this day in niche history. And the first off, we're going to actually go back 90 years. Our first piece of history, we're going to go back 90 years today. And this is, of course, something I'm sure you guys can catch on MeTV on occasion. On this date, 90 years ago today, the Fleischer Studios animated short "Stopping the Show" premiered on this date 90 years ago. It ran for 8 minutes. It was a Betty Boop cartoon, and while it was not Betty Boop's first appearance, it is the first short to be credited as a Betty Boop cartoon. This was a Betty Boop cartoon that they. So the first short that they stopping the show here that they
She was the lead.
Yeah. Now the synopsis of this is this: Betty Boop appears on stage in a vaudeville theater. Her act consists of imitations of real life singers, including Helen Kane, Fanny Bruce, and Maurice Chevalier. The cartoon audience enthusiastically cheers and applause. I mean, think about that, and you see this more in anime today, but see a pretty young woman, a pretty young woman, on stage singing and dancing for people, and of course everybody being made happy. That's kind of the premise of the idol groups of today.
Yeah.
You see in anime. And I'm sure I don't know if you saw me talking about that on the newscast the other day, RJ, when I was talking about some of it. But anyways, notes and comments. So when the short was originally released, it contained a scene showing Betty sing Helen Kane's song, "That's My Weakness Now." Kane, who was involved in a lawsuit over Betty's resemblance to her, complained, and the studios were forced to remove the scene from future prints.
Oh.
Clips from this short were later reused in 1934's Betty Boop's Rise to Fame. So on this date back in 1932, 90 years ago today, the Fleischer Studios short "Stopping the Show" premiered on this date 90 years ago today. So there you go with that one. Let's see. Woody just said something here. And of course, Woody's going, time, niche history, ready. Made from pen and ink and can win you with a wink. I guess that's
Betty Boop.
Betty Boop. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So anyways, moving on to the next piece of history, which is a little closer to us, about 10 years ago today. On this date, 10 years ago today, from the TNA, let's see, from the Impact Wrestling Zone in Orlando, Florida, Total Nonstop Action held their Hardcore Justice event in 2012. The main event saw Austin Aries retain the TNA World Heavyweight Championship over Bobby Roode in a last chance match. You also saw AJ Styles defeat Samoa Joe, Kurt Angle, and Christopher Daniels in a 4-way ladder match in the Bound for Glory series for 20 points. Zema Ion retained the TNA X Division Championship over Kenny King. Bully Ray defeated James Storm, Jeff Hardy, and Robbie E in a 4-way tables match in a Bound for Glory series for 20 points. Madison Rayne defeated Miss Tessmacher to win the TNA Knockouts Championship. Madison Rayne, who of course just had a title shot, the TBS Championship on AEW the other night. Devon, as in Devon Dudley, for those of you who may not know, retained the TNA Television Championship over Kazarian. And another Bound for Glory series match for 20 points. Rob Van Dam defeated Mr. Anderson and Magnus in a 3-way Falls Count Anywhere match. Magnus currently wrestles Nick Aldis. He's already a 2-time NWA World. Now, since from this point, he eventually became a 2-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion. The show started off with Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez defeating Kid Cash and Gunner. So there you go. There's that one. And then we have one more piece of niche history to go over here, a little closer to our time. You know, I move from the furthest history back to the most recent. As also on this date, I believe this is 2015, which was 7 years ago today. On this date, 7 years ago today, on this date, 7 years ago today, the 25th issue of Abe Sapien from Dark Horse Comics went on sale on this date. Story was called The Shadow Over Suwannee, Part 2, written by Mike Mignola and Scott Stewart Alley, penciled by Sebastian Flumara, inked by Max Flumara, art done by Tyler Cook, lettered by Clem Robbins, colored by David Stewart. Any of these names sound familiar to you, RJ? Anything you want
Just
to say?
Mike Mignola.
All right. So, yeah, Mike Mignola, who was working for Dark Horse Comics at the time. Anyway, so that's all that we got for you guys on the history, and I thank everybody for being here. Hope to see everybody back here on Monday for more Neat. Next week, of course, Monday through Thursday, our Neat Newscast. I hope to see people back here coming up, because we had some interesting articles. I'll probably talk about them on your show as well. Definitely something I want to bring up with James on Sunday if I can remember. Something I covered, I think it was yesterday. And also next Friday, the 19th, I'll have Chris and Diane Tomolovich here. We'll be looking at Fiction House. We'll be, of course, looking over Jumbo Comics. I believe it'll be number 6. I think it might be 6, 7. I know it's the World's Fair edition of the comic. So we'll be looking, of course, we'll be going over stories of Sheena, Dr. Hayward, and Gilda Gade, the modern girl. And we'll get to see once again what they thought a modern girl was in 1939. So, and Woody said thanks, and we appreciate that, Woody. So,
Woody.
And then, of course, RJ will be back here, as we said earlier, 2 weeks from today, on the 26th. So with that, I thank everybody for being here, and I look forward to seeing everybody back here on Monday. And I hope everybody had fun with what we did tonight. Bye.